Harley-Davidson is using that as an excuse, and I don't like that. And I think the people that ride Harleys are not happy with Harley-Davidson, and I wouldn't be either.
The conflict between Harley-Davidson and U.S. President Donald Trump has been the talk of the nation and is now referred to as the battle of the century. Many people are wondering who will prevail in this conflict. Even though Donald Trump is determined to take some major steps, Harley-Davidson isn't planning to back down. How do you think this chaos will all play out? Iconic motorcycle manufacturer Harley-Davidson Inc., HOG, has had to cope with declining sales and an 18% decline in stock this year. Adding to its woes, President Donald Trump has made the auto company one of his prime targets as he drums up support for his trade policies. And this is where the chaos starts.
Harley-Davidson, please build those beautiful motorcycles in the USA, please, okay? Don't get cute with us. Don't get cute.
However, the century-old firm has argued that it was left with little choice after the European Union raised tariffs on U.S. motorcycles in June 2018 from 6% to 31% in retaliation to Trump's tariffs on European steel and aluminum. According to Harley-Davidson, manufacturing overseas is the only way it can maintain a viable business and remain accessible to customers in Europe, its second-largest market. Furthermore, CEO Matthew Levatich has refuted union leaders' accusations that the corporation planned this shift well in advance and used the tariffs as a justification in an interview with NPR. Harley has also come under fire for closing a Kansas manufacturing plant rather than creating jobs and using its tax savings to appease shareholders. Harley-Davidson has not only made poor business choices and portrayed ineffective leadership styles that have provoked contentious discussions, they also call into question what it means to be a real American. The president praised the Wisconsin-based Harley-Davidson as a true American icon in February 2017, but that all changed in June 2018 when the company announced plans to move some of its manufacturing outside of the United States. Since then, the president has accused the company of quitting manufacturing and warned that it will be the beginning of the end for the company, as he added on Twitter, "A Harley-Davidson should never be built in another country, never." Harley-Davidson, however, has been manufacturing motorcycles overseas since 1998 and currently has factories in Thailand, Brazil, and India, in addition to a factory in Australia that it intends to close due to declining demand. The company made it clear that it is not selling motorcycles manufactured overseas to American consumers. We've invested in international manufacturing over the last 20 years, really, for the single reason that there are trade and tariff situations in certain markets that make it prohibitive for us to be relevant in those markets without that investment, Matthew Levatich, Harley-Davidson CEO, told CNBC. He went on to say, "We're only doing that because these are important growth markets for the company that, without those investments, we wouldn't have access to those customers at any kind of reasonable price." Although the goal of President Trump's tariffs was to support American investment and jobs, this has made Harley-Davidson's situation more complicated. Its Harley sales fell 3.9% internationally and 8.5% locally in 2017. This is due to its inability to attract the millennials. As its ardent followers age and quit riding, it has struggled in the United States. It's like Cadillac or Mercedes, Alliance Bernstein analyst David Beckel told CNBC. You might turn away from it if you're younger because it's not your idea of cool. In 2018, 61% of the company's sales volume came from the U.S., and the corporation has been forced to look for better opportunities due to the lackluster domestic market. It intends to increase its foreign sales volumes to 50% of total sales. The business intends to introduce less expensive 200 to 500cc bikes in India, a market dominated by Royal Enfield, owned by Eicher Motors, which has experienced remarkable success as the nation's disposable incomes increase. In addition, Harley-Davidson wants to locate the next generation of riders before it's too late, even if they are located overseas. If it wants to live another century, it might have to give up the Made in America label. The famous American motorcycle manufacturer Harley-Davidson is said to have copyrighted the beat because of how distinctive the potato-potato sound produced by its V-twin engine is. The more commonplace reality is that certain patents protect the 45-degree slanted V engines that generate the sound. However, the Wisconsin business has been so successful at the potato tail that it has a conference room at its offices in Milwaukee called Potato. Harley-Davidson's $5.64 billion revenue in 2017 is insignificant compared to the U.S.'s $5 trillion worldwide trade. In India, it is a much smaller chunk of change, with exports in the 500cc plus category totaling just $5.96 million. However, President Trump turned it into a scandal, claiming that India was allowed to export thousands and thousands of its motorcycles to the United States, while Harley was required to pay a 100% tariffs for its meager exports to India. The 2016 to 2017 figure was 2,440 bikes, of which only 80 were over 500 cc's. Equipped with these facts, some of which were provided by Harley-Davidson itself, New Delhi has made an effort to contact Trump and obtain a brief, straightforward information sheet that illustrates how minor the issue was in relation to the total amount of trade between the two countries, as close to the Oval Office as feasible. Who can tell the president that Harley-Davidson's problems, which stem mostly from a worldwide slowdown in what is generally regarded as a vanity purchase, are part of his mission, supposedly because its motorcycle riders are among his most important political supporters? The U.S. president is holding the hot potato in a trade war he promised would yield easy wins because no one, not even Harley-Davidson, wanted to settle the matter with India and other countries without the hoopla that is now causing a trade war. On Monday, the company announced it is moving some of its production facilities abroad to avoid stiff retaliatory tariffs imposed by the European Union in response to the White House's trade measures. In a string of tweets, an infuriated Trump blasted the business, accusing it of raising the white flag and threatening to impose harsh taxes if it fled the U.S. Never ever should a Harley-Davidson be constructed in a foreign nation. Their staff and clients are already furious with them, he swore, adding that if they move or observe, it will be the start of the end they gave up. They quit. They will be taxed more than ever before, and the aura will vanish. When I invited Harley-Davidson representatives to the White House, I reprimanded them for having excessively high tariffs in other nations such as India. Now businesses are returning to America. Harley must be aware that they will have to pay a significant tax in order to sell back into the United States, he added in a subsequent tweet. Trump later acknowledged that the 100% tariff figure had been lowered to 50%, but he claimed Prime Minister Modi had smooth-talked him about it and referred to him as a beautiful man. This was just one of his blatantly false claims. Additionally, it appears that Trump is ignorant of the fact that Harley-Davidson's introduction into India was part of a Mango for Motorcycles agreement between George Bush and Manmohan Singh, which was predicated on Washington permitting a significant amount of Indian mangoes to be imported into the U.S. This commerce has been hampered by bureaucratic red tape. A major debate about the U.S. trade deficit with India, which stands at $23 billion, is less than a tenth of Beijing's surplus with Washington, and the ugly Harley-Davidson feud has erupted. In the end, neither Trump nor Harley-Davidson seems ready to back down, as Harley-Davidson is not intimidated by the problem and wants to grow internationally. What's your take on this situation? Leave your thoughts in the comments section. Until next time, thanks for watching.